Well, I've been on your mailing list for a while.
For our lecturer, Josiane. I think she's quite interested in humour herself. I don't know if I think she might be on a council of some kind.
I received mail from the Centre for Comedy Research.
Well, it's been really good. I mean, there have been so many different angles on the humour and comedy. I mean, I wasn't expecting to enjoy the one about computers, but I actually did. That was a whole new area to me, computers and comedy.
It was nice hearing from Max because I have recognised him before from TV, and it's nice hearing from people that work with comedy, comedians, comedy writers, TV shows, and it's nice to hear from people like that.
So far, I think I've enjoyed mostly the organisation of the event.
I loved having the opportunity to show off our fabulous Funny Women players. They're the talent, not me. I also just loved the whole discussion around comedy and humanity, and I think comedy is that unique thing that makes us human, actually.
A 36-day gap between a tragic event and being able to laugh is a new one to me. I've had the idea before this season, so it's just an interesting thought that you have this gap between something bad happening and being able to laugh about it.
Comedy and animals especially. And the 36 days, what is the study done into when it is appropriate to talk about something?
I've learned lots of new things. I found the stuff about children, although I've got 2 grown-up children, that was fascinating, the actual research into it, pinpointing when a child laughs.
It was nice to hear about when a joke goes too far. I mean, it's something I'm really interested in. I listen to a lot of comedy that's quite on the edge kind of thing, and that was quite thought-provoking.
The fact that children instinctively know how to laugh and that they use it as an early form of communication, I think that's really interesting. And also the stuff around sort of animals and animal instinct, which is obviously something I've done a little bit of research into as well. I found that very interesting.
Whether computers can come up with jokes. I had a bit of a go with the joke machine in the interval, and I think they've got a long way to go before the jokes are as good as humans can come up with. But it's really interesting to see if you sort of teach a computer the grammar of humour and the grammar of jokes, how they can put it together just following the same rules that human brains do.
Yes, I always find it inspiring to actually be in a community of people who are researching humour. So yes, it's always inspiring. It always makes me want to carry on with the research that I do.
I think comedy improv is always quite inspiring, so the Funny Women players were great.
I'm always inspired by anything to do with humour. I think it's the lifeblood, really. I think without humour we don't have our humanity, and therefore any event or anything that involves a lot of laughter and humour, you come away feeling inspired.
I can't think of anything, no. It's very well organised, it's friendly, it's fun.
Probably more awareness of the event, because I'm not sure how much awareness was brought to the event, but I think more awareness because the research that has been done by people is really good, and if more people can learn from this, then that would be amazing.
I think it needs to be done. I mean, it isn't only comedy. I mean, comedy comes from human experience, not from study. So great comedy, whether it's written comedy or comedians, comes from someone's personal interactions. But I think the more we understand about it, the more we study it, the more we can do it, basically.
Yes, definitely. I'm myself a humour researcher, and I have been for a long time, so I do value. I think humour is, particularly verbal humour, not just performing, but verbal humour is an important part of language skills people have. So I think it's vital to understanding human language to be able to understand the role of humour in the use of language.
I think it's something that needs to be done more often. I mean, we have a module at our university that is to do with language and humour, but I think it's something that needs to be studied much, much more. I mean, it's really important to everyday society.